Hey y'all, welcome back. Still Evvonne, the real Evvonne, however you know me, but you are on the Still Evvonne channel. So I'm about to get into it. You can see the title, right? So you know what this is about. So what I did was, and I should have did it yesterday, but I had stuff going on. I could have did it earlier today, but I had stuff going on. But nonetheless, you don't care. You're here now with the information. So I put some clips together. You can see the title, right? So I just want you to see. At the end of the day, I want to empower people to stop siding with people or groups that you think are for you, because they're really not. All you got to do is a little bit of research, educate yourself, like seek the truth and you will find it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. At the end of the day, claiming ignorance is never an excuse, especially in this day and time when so much information is at our tips of your fingers, right? You better start doing your research now because they about to take it away. Watch these clips I'm about to show y'all. And I'm going to come back with it's like a 20-minute thing I put together. But if you're interested, you're going to watch it, right? It's very interesting, right? Watch it. I'm going to come back with a couple minutes of my little commentary. And then I got something else to show y'all because I want y'all to understand what this is all about. Do you believe in distractions? All right, let's go. I'm about to show you.
Second one, would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear and I said no.
Perspective. Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Secondly, his son, Hunter, is also up for being sentenced next month. Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
We did. You've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying it would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
U.S. President Joe Biden not answering the question as he arrived for an official visit in Africa. Despite saying he would never do it, the president Sunday pardoned his son Hunter on federal gun and tax evasion charges, raising eyebrows from both political parties.
I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
But the president issued a full and unconditional pardon to protect Hunter from potential future legal charges.
Trump attack machine shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here.
On December 1st, President Joe Biden issued a presidential pardon for his son, Hunter Biden, wiping out tax and gun-related charges against him. This decision comes weeks before Hunter was set to be sentenced and just months before President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House. President Biden's pardon spans all offenses Hunter may have committed between 2014 and 2024, framing the charges as politically motivated attacks intended to harm his presidency. The White House stated, quote, "This decision seeks to correct a miscarriage of justice," end quote. Hunter's legal team reinforced this by releasing a 52-page white paper describing him as a victim of politically driven prosecutions. US President-elect Donald Trump called President Joe Biden's pardon of his son, Hunter, who had been convicted of making false statements on a gun background check and illegally possessing a firearm, and pled guilty to federal tax charges, an abuse and miscarriage of justice on Sunday.
A sudden reversal from President Joe Biden last night, issuing a full and unconditional pardon of his son Hunter, ending a legal saga the president now says was politically motivated. The younger Biden potentially faced decades in prison on gun charges. ABC's Karen Travers reports from the White House.
This morning, President Biden is en route to Angola after a holiday weekend spent with family on Nantucket, stopping briefly in Washington in between and announcing he's pardoning his son, Hunter. Hunter was convicted of lying on a form about his drug use when he purchased a gun and in a separate case agreed to plead guilty to tax charges. Biden argues his son's charges came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. The president's decision is a reversal from a position he held for months.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
The pardon goes beyond Hunter's gun and tax charges, also covering offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1, 2014 through December 1, 2024. The chairman of the House Oversight Committee, a Republican, accuses Biden of skirting accountability. Democratic House Representative Greg Stanton of Arizona also criticized Biden's decision, saying Hunter committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers. Biden is not the first president to use his pardon powers before leaving office. President Clinton pardoned a former business partner and his half-brother, Roger Clinton. President Trump pardoned Charles Kushner, his son-in-law's father, and just announced as Trump's pick for ambassador to France. In response to Biden's decision, Trump wrote, "Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the January 6th hostages?" addressing a promise he campaigned off of. Trump has also promised to go after those he considers political enemies and has announced plans to fire FBI Director Christopher Wray, replacing him with longtime ally Kash Patel, who has vowed to help the president-elect with his plan for retribution.
Putting his son in the Bureau of Prisons within the power and control of Donald Trump, a political rival, it was probably something as a father he needed to do to protect his son.
Hunter Biden potentially faced decades in prison. In a statement, he said he will not take this decision for granted and will devote the life he has rebuilt in his sobriety to helping those who are sick and suffering.
Good evening and welcome. Sharp criticism of President Biden's turnabout and decision to grant a full unconditional pardon to his son Hunter is reverberating on both sides of the political fault lines tonight. The president's characterization of the criminal cases against his son as politicized and unfair, seen as particularly irksome to some fellow Democrats who worry it undermines confidence in the justice system. But it is Republicans tonight who are most outspoken in their responses, calling out the president for lying after previously insisting he would not pardon his son. Kelly O'Donnell with us now with late developments.
After wielding presidential power to protect his son, Hunter Biden, from a potential prison sentence with a full and unconditional pardon. Tonight, President Biden is facing sharp criticism from Democrats and Republicans, even as some express sympathy for Joe Biden, the father.
If it was my son, I'd pardon him too. But here's what I didn't like. Don't lie to us. Don't tell us you're not going to do it and then do it.
Arizona Congressman, Democrat Greg Stanton.
I'm pretty angry because it's going to be incredibly important that political leaders of both parties stand up for the independence of the Department of Justice.
President Biden and White House officials repeatedly insisted there would be no pardon.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands just no.
Tonight, on a 3-day visit to Africa, the president did not respond to reporters' questions.
Mr. President, will you answer a few questions?
But at a White House Christmas event, First Lady Jill Biden expressed her support for the pardon. The pardon was first reported by NBC News Sunday night, and shortly thereafter, President Biden explained his grant of clemency in a statement. The president asserted, "I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted." The pardon is sweeping, covering not only his son's felony convictions on firearms charges and tax evasion, where he faced potential prison time at sentencing this month. But the president provided more than a decade of blanket protection, preventing further federal prosecution for any offenses dating back to January 2014, months before the younger Biden joined the board of a Ukrainian energy company while his father was vice president. Blaming a heated environment, the president argued that raw politics has infected this process. He invoked his son's recovery from addiction. There's been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, and claimed his political adversaries could pose future risk to his family, writing, "In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough."
President Biden's continuing to face criticism over his decision to issue a sweeping pardon to his son, Hunter Biden. But the president's decision has also brought renewed attention to the power of the presidential pardon. Biden's now facing renewed pressure to commute the sentences of death row prisoners and to pardon or grant clemency to political prisoners like Indigenous leader Leonard Peltier, imprisoned in Florida, and the whistleblowers Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. The group Last Prisoner Project is calling on Biden to use his clemency power to free those still incarcerated in federal prison for cannabis crimes. We're joined now by Jason Ortiz, Director of Strategic Initiatives at the Last Prisoner Project. This is very interesting, Jason. I think they say that Hunter Biden has been clean for something like just over 5 years. His father has openly talked about his son, formerly an addict. And as he faces bipartisan criticism, talk about what you think this is an opening for.
Sure. So this is definitely an opening for folks to talk about exactly how expansive we can use the pardon power of the president to make sure that we're correcting the injustices that were done over the past 20 or 30 years when it comes to cannabis crimes. President Biden himself was actually one of the architects of the 1994 crime bill that created a lot of the outrageous sentences that we're now dealing with today. And so we're seeing that there are over 3,000 federal cannabis prisoners currently incarcerated on cannabis charges. And these are all folks that also have families and have parents and have loved ones. And we have examples like folks like Jonathan Wall, who is somebody that was a Maryland resident. He was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison for his first offense. And so while I can understand why the president wants to have compassion for his own son, what we're really getting frustrated is that he's refusing to extend that compassion to all the parents that are currently watching their kids waste away in prison. Mitzi Wall, who works with the organization Freedom Grow, is a mother of Jonathan Wall. She was joining me this past week when we had the congressional press conference, when we were joined by folks like James Clyburn, Congressman James Clyburn, asking for freedom and clemency for folks like Jonathan Wall. And so that's one example of 3,000 folks that are currently in prison. Some of the charges are far more egregious. Folks like Evvonne Rubiz was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison in the 90s. And so he's someone that hasn't had a Christmas or holidays with his family. He has a son that's 27 years old. He's currently served 27 years of that federal sentence. He hasn't had a single Christmas with his son because of charges that were orchestrated orchestrated and architected by President Biden, then as senator, in the crime bill. We have folks that are serving life sentences. Israel Lira, for trafficking charge, is currently sentenced on a life sentence for the same activity that is now legal across the country in 25 different states, include trafficking. And so that would be the distribution of cannabis. And so there is a specific, differentiation between what President Biden's previous pardons were intended to do, which was only covering things like simple possession, where right now we have folks that are serving decades for trafficking, which is exactly what the hundreds of legal cannabis businesses across the country are currently doing on a regular basis, including right in Washington, D.C. And so we're now seeing people sitting in prison for decades for the same activity that is currently generating tax revenue for cities and states across the country. We're paying for schools and building bridges with cannabis activity dollars, but still letting folks waste away in prison. And so while I can definitely understand why a father would want to have compassion for his son and avoid prison time for his son, we're really asking him to extend that same compassion to all the folks that he helped put in prison to begin with.
He said he wouldn't do it. Then he did it.
This full and unconditional pardon.
U.S. President Joe Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter.
The presidential pardon Joe Biden has just issued his son, Hunter, is sweeping in nature. Total immunity for anything criminal he may have done in the last 10 years.
This is a major reversal on a deeply personal matter.
So why now? Was Biden lying when he promised to stay out of his son's criminal case? And either way, how does this now change the rules of the game? So let's look at the pardon itself, an executive grant of clemency. It starts, "To all to whom these presents shall come," which is just a very old way of saying to and make it. Then it says, "Robert Hunter Biden, a full and unconditional pardon." And then here's the important part. "For those offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. So there are two cases where Hunter Biden was convicted on felony charges. One was for lying about his drug addiction so that he could buy a handgun.
He's accused of lying on a government form, buying and owning a gun while he was using illegal drugs.
The other case was for tax evasion.
9 indictments against the president's son this morning from a court in California, including failure to pay nearly $1.5 million in taxes and filing false tax returns.
Money which, by the way, he has since paid back. Both of those sets of crimes occurred in the last 10 years, which this pardon covers. But even if, hypothetically, there's some other crime that he committed in that time, which we don't know about, this pardon covers that too.
It is unusual for there not to be specific crimes that are cited.
Presidents can frame the pardons however they please, with very rare exceptions. Most are specific to crimes and sentences and not broadly worded to capture possible crimes that occurred within a given time frame.
And I'll show you what she means. Through the U.S. Justice Department, I managed to track down the clemency records of Roger Stone. He's a longtime Trump friend and confidant. He got wrapped up in the Russia investigation, indicted for lying to Congress, witness tampering, and obstruction. But the pardon Trump granted him while he was president is for those very specific crimes. You see the case number, the charges, the exact sentence. It is a full, unconditional, but thoroughly applied pardon. Here's another one for Paul Manafort, who served as Trump's campaign chair in 2016. Again, we don't need to analyze the details line by line, but the document is very clear about which specific crimes are being pardoned. And I'll show you one more, because this one's a little different. It still pardons only very specific crimes, in his case, tax evasion and one charge related to a bizarre blackmail plot. But this is a pardon for Charles Kushner. That's the father of Jared Kushner, who is Donald Trump's son-in-law, husband to his daughter, Evvonne. And I say this just to make the point that the pardon of Hunter Biden isn't the first time we've seen a president pardon a relative. But there is only one other time. Many of the experts we spoke to say we've seen such a sweeping pardon affecting any potential crime committed during a huge window of time.
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon.
The big one, of course, is Richard Nixon after Watergate.
Does harken back to Nixon's pardon.
50 years ago, Gerald Ford issued a blanket pardon for Richard Nixon, not just for his involvement in the Watergate scandal, but for any offense Nixon may have committed between exactly January 20th, 1969 and August 9th, 1974, the exact span of Nixon's presidency.
He wanted to move the country forward. The best way to do that, he thought, was to give Nixon a full and unconditional pardon.
But the use of pardons has changed since then. Traditionally, full pardons have mostly been granted to people who've already served their time.
It is mostly symbolic. It has the effect of restoring any civil rights that the person might have still lost as a result of being a convicted felon.
Pardons have tended to emphasize an accepting of responsibility and a desire to move on. But in Trump's case, and now in Biden's case, they've been quite clear. The justice system can't always be trusted to get things right, and sometimes only the president, with this broad, unilateral, and nearly absolute power, can make it right. Throughout his presidency, Joe Biden has always promised that he wouldn't interfere in his son's criminal case.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No. It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. Will he pardon his son? No.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
This is because, I think, he understood what it would mean for a president to appear to so brazenly misuse their power in a way that might seem incredibly self-serving.
I think a lot of people would say, well, you know, if it were my son and I had the power to do something about it, I would do it, but that doesn't make it any less problematic.
This does create some real problems for the Democratic Party. You know, their whole thing has been that nobody is above the law.
In his official statement, Joe Biden doesn't hide the fact that he's doing this for personal reasons. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. And that is wrong. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me. And there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. Now, what is he talking about there?
I think it comes down to the fact that he doesn't want to put his son in Donald Trump's target for retribution.
Trump and his supporters believe Hunter Biden is guilty of more than what he's been charged with. Last year, House Republicans led an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden's business relationship with his son, particularly while he was vice president and his son conducted business in Ukraine and China. That inquiry ultimately didn't really get anywhere. It stopped short of alleging any criminal wrongdoing. But Donald Trump doesn't appear to want to drop the case.
President Biden engaged in impeachable conduct and said he abused his office and defrauded the United States of America to enrich his family.
Biden's pardon covers the moment Hunter joined the board of a Ukrainian gas company. That's why it goes back 10 years. And just one day before Biden announced this pardon, Trump announced his pick for the next head of the FBI, a loyalist who has vowed to go after Trump's enemies.
There is no question this is a fraught moment.
I think the problem here is that both sides don't really adhere to any sort of neutral principle against politicizing the Justice Department. The problem that they have is when it's politicized against their side.
I think it's out the window that there is any kind of decorum around pardons.
Pardoning somebody for a length of time, 11 years, and having it encompass anything that happened during that period of time. If you're Donald Trump, you could potentially look at that and say, I'm going to pardon people without specifying crimes.
Donald Trump, once he assumes office, will be under pressure to pardon his supporters who were jailed after the January 6th riots on the Capitol. Some of them are still in prison, even now. But what's new is that Biden and Trump now appear to agree on one critical thing, that justice has been twisted by politics, and that sometimes the justice system gets things very wrong. And it should be within a president's authority to make things right, as he or she sees fit.
All right, I'm back. So y'all heard all that. You saw that, right? But were you paying attention, especially when they was mentioning Ukraine, right? I know damn well I was not the only one throughout the struggling ass years of this administration. When they keep up until last week, right? They keep funneling money and weapons and shit into this actor's fake ass country. I fucking said it. This actor. If you don't believe me, look him up. Zelensky is an actor. That's his background. Look it up. And I understand, I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, Trump is this. No, it's a whole difference. Because see, Trump ain't out here. When he served as president the first time, he wasn't out here asking other countries for money and weapons and all that fuck shit like this motherfucker's doing. And I feel some type of way, and you should feel some type of way. Because everything that our country is going through, since this fake ass administration has been in place, they can't find money for nothing that our country need or our people need, but they all of a sudden are able to print this monopoly money to fund their fuck ass war. And let me also be very, very clear. I don't understand why nobody's addressing this. Maybe some people are, so if you are, ignore what the fuck I'm about to say. But I got an issue with this. United States is like the head of NATO, right? NATO, right? And with NATO is protect the members, the countries of NATO. Ukraine is not a NATO member. So why in the fuck is the United States and the UK keep sending support to Ukraine? Why the fuck is the United States and the UK involved in this fuck shit? Because Russia and Ukraine, neither one of them are part of NATO. And I understand, I can hear it now. What some of y'all gonna say, I get it. Let's be fucking for real. Why in the fuck are these the United States and UK supporting this fuck shit? Because Ukraine is not part of NATO. Part of NATO means that you are supporting the members of NATO, right? I have never understood to this day why in the fuck does the United States keep getting involved in other people's shit? Because last time I checked, all these hurricanes and natural disasters and shit that the United States has, ain't none of them motherfuckers ever come over here and try and help us. Ain't none of them motherfuckers, at least I haven't seen it. If you seen it, email that to me and I'll do a whole fucking live or upload on that to let y'all know I was wrong, my bad. But I want to see that. Have any of these countries that we support ever did anything for us? Just asking. I keep telling y'all, all this shit is a fucking show. I don't understand what it's going to take for a lot of you motherfuckers to realize and recognize this shit. It's a whole fucking show. And let me show you how much of a show this shit is, right? Think about it. The whole election, right? Who in their right fucking mind thought that Koala Bear, aka Kamala, was going to actually win? Are you fucking kidding me? Hillary Clinton is a whole white woman. They didn't want her. So why the fuck did y'all all of a sudden think they was going to vote in a woman that's pretending to be black? Meanwhile, her whole fucking life, she was claiming to be Indian, South Asian, to be exact. You don't believe me? Look that shit up. And you say, oh no, it's Jamaica. No, stop that shit. Just because somebody is in Jamaica, right? Just like somebody's in Africa, right? That don't make them black. Do y'all not understand? Those are continents. Like in the United States, right? We're in North America, right? How many races are here? Just asking. I don't understand why motherfuckers keep acting slow. I said it. Tired is dumbass shit. The world is a stage, and you motherfuckers keep buying these tickets. Y'all buying these wolf tickets to this fuck shit. So let me be very, very clear and break it down real quick, and I'm gonna end this shit. Remember the whole election, the everything from the fake ass assassination. I fucking said it. The fake ass assassination attempts, all that shit. Everything to, oh, Biden is not competent. He can't run again. He cannot serve he can't run again as the president. Mean fucking wow. What the fuck is going on right now? If this motherfucker was not competent enough to run again as the president, how in the fuck is he competent to pardon his crooked ass son? I said it. I know how, but I want you to ask how. Because you motherfuckers. Oh, also, how much Biden don't give a fuck about y'all motherfuckers that keep riding that fake ass Democratic horse? He's not answering questions. Motherfuckers in his own party is asking, why the fuck did he go back on his word when he said, I'm not going to pardon him. I'm going to let the justice system do what they do. But then this motherfucker decided to pardon his son in the very month, December 2024. December, to pardon his son. This is the actual very month that his son was about to be sentenced. And let me also be very, very clear again. His son, Hunter, think about that. This motherfucker's first name is Robert, but he chooses to go by Hunter. So ain't nobody gonna catch that irony in that shit. Hunter. Okay, it's just me. I'm moving the fuck on. Anyway, so like I just fucking said, I'm sorry, I had a moment of silence for what I'm about to say because I'm so tired of this fuck shit. Do y'all remember everything, right? Whether you like him or not, right? Whether you like Trump or not. First of all, I know the game, right? I don't understand why y'all keep fucking voting. Why do you think your vote count? What the fuck is y'all smoking that you think your vote counts? That's the idiocy of this whole fucking shit. If you don't believe me, look it up. I'm gonna need you motherfuckers to do your own research. Because as a matter of fact, in the Bible, right, it says, seek truth. I said this over a week ago, right, to a couple of people. I was like, let me tell you something. God says in the Bible, right, seek truth. Now, if the whole truth was located in the Bible that man put out, he wouldn't tell us to seek truth. I can tell y'all so much more. The shit that I've heard, you have no idea. Let me tell you something. It is what the fuck it is. God will use the least of you, right? I am the least of you. I'm gonna leave it at that, right? He been using me over 20 years. Like he been using me, but I've been rebellious, right? But with that being said, I'm gonna keep bringing y'all the truth as it is presented to me. And with that being said, I do not understand why y'all keep thinking that Democratic or Republican, one of the two is better. Y'all, it is the same fucking coin. Two different sides, but it is the same coin. Do you understand what that means? You got the same coin, they got the same master. You got the same coin, you got the same master. Message. That shit don't matter. That shit don't change. Period. Look on the screen. I was talking about distractions, right? Look at on the screen, right? The FBI is asking for the public's help after multiple reports of large drones in New Jersey over the last 2 weeks. Some were spotted near a military installation and President-elect Trump's Bedminster golf course. So you see that, right? Before this, right, because my cousin had sent me this, right? And before this, right, I saw other people doing, and I want to get back into it. So if y'all see stuff, please, y'all send it to real REAL dot Evvonne, EVVONNE at gmail.com. If y'all see these weird objects flying in the sky, email it to me, y'all. What I want to start doing is reaction videos. As a matter of fact, I have one on my channel right now. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'm gonna do it on Friday. But I'm gonna start doing reactions, right? But I also want to get back into that because I did do that. I touched on that briefly a few years ago, and people were sending me stuff. And I want to get back into that because I want y'all to understand one thing. Not only are we in the last days, we are literally seeing the book of Revelations unfolding before our very eyes. That's a fact. That's a fact. I said, my cousin, I said, I'm gonna send you the verses because let me be very, very clear what it even says about. Let me give you an example. She asked me, she said, did you see what they saying lately about airplanes? They flying lower than normal? Bitch, what? She said the airplanes are flying lower than normal. I looked that shit up. We are definitely in the times. Everything is being exposed. Our government in the United States has been lying to us, but they're extra lying to us now. They can't hide this shit no more. Everybody keeps recording these shit that's going. As a matter of fact, look on the screen again. Look at it. Look on the screen. They can't hide this shit no more. So now they seeking our help. Fuck the fact that you see TikTok. Look it up for your motherfucking self. I ain't lying. Look it up. I am in Washington, D.C. Do you actually think I don't see a lot of shit that y'all don't see? I just haven't posted a lot of shit. Really? Man, fucking stop playing. So what y'all think is about to happen? Do you think when Donald Trump, if he makes it this far, I said it, if you think he makes it that far and he's sworn in, do you think he's going to change anything? If you think he's going to change anything, what do you think he's going to change? Now, moving the fuck along because I have a little petty moment because I don't like motherfuckers that make demands and want people to do certain things that they have never done in their entire YouTube existence. See, anybody know anything about the real Evvonne? I've been on this bitch since 2015 as a content creator. But before that, I was just a viewer, a subscriber, right? But 2015, I was. One thing you also have to know is with your content, with your channel, you evolve. And what evolving means is you're going to switch some shit up, right? Did I say sit up? My bad. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, right? You're going to switch some shit up, right? With that being said, ain't no motherfucker gonna come around, say XYZ about Evvonne, and think I ain't gonna say nothing. Now, I'm still really not. But I'm saying this to say this. Y'all, stop. For the love of God, stop entertaining these scary ass bitches that have never cut their cameras on. And I don't give a fuck about a bitch that said, oh, well, my camera was on at one time and it was in my what you call it? Shit. And my membership. Me fucking well, everybody know that membership tab don't even exist no more for this bitch. So what I'm saying is, fuck all that. I'm gonna need you motherfuckers to stop entertaining this fuck shit. Or you can do like I always do. I clown these bitches. But like, please stop proving shit, y'all. Stop it. Stop doing walkthroughs of your house. Stop. I would never, ever. No, I'm not saying I'm going to cut my camera on no more as far as at home. I might. But I do cut my camera on when the fuck I'm out. See, I'm very calculating what the fuck I do because I protect motherfuckers around me. Because a lot of motherfuckers don't want to be on camera, but don't get none of that shit twisted. You got to understand, a motherfucker like me, when I do cut the camera on it, I don't be saying shit. You want to know why? Because motherfuckers looking at me like, oh, so I have to pretend that I'm not even lying. Do you understand what pretending means? Bitch, don't even act like you singing along with the fucking song. Like I cannot sing along with a motherfucking song with a camera in my fucking hand. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm tired of these conversations. That's why I stopped. So I will still hit that live button in a minute. And I've had motherfuckers that tell me, man, who the fuck cares? Who? But I get it. But me fucking wow, it depends how many drinks I'm in. It doesn't even matter. I'm not about to play them games. I don't give a fuck. I don't have a problem. I don't give a fuck who like me, who don't like me. I've said it time and time again. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. If you here and you want to meet up with me, say something. And if I give a fuck, I might do it. I might meet up with you. Anyway, I'm rambling. Do you think Donald Trump is going to change anything once he's sworn back into office? Oh, this is another question I have for y'all, right? Because somebody asked me this, right? They was like, will Donald Trump get another term after this? And I said, no, from my understanding is a president is only allowed to serve 2 terms. It didn't say nothing about consecutive terms. It didn't say nothing about back to back. It said 2 terms. So this is his 2nd term. And don't also think none of this shit was missed on me. It wasn't. This motherfucker been told y'all he want to be a dictator. Just fucking saying. Moving the fuck on, right? So comment y'all shit below. What you think? Do you think he gonna have, after this term, do you think he gonna have another term which will make 3 terms? Do you think he gonna put any black people in? I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. Do y'all think he gonna put any black people in his cabinet, all his picks? Let me little side real quick, right? I'm gonna need you motherfuckers to stop this bullshit. I have said this time and time again. My ancestors are not in Africa, and I don't give a fuck Who got a problem with that? I traced my entire area in the United States. Do y'all understand what the fuck they did to these Indians? I have legit pictures of family members, full-blooded Indians. I am too, right? But see, I don't look like them because them white slave masters wanted to take advantage. I'm gonna say that because I ain't gonna say that certain words, right? Want to do that, right? So that's why I look the way the fuck I look, right? But let me be very, very clear. I'm gonna need you motherfuckers to stop playing dumb. We were here, we were always here. A lot of these Indians that they tell y'all is Indians, they're not. Look in your Bible. The Bible even says it's people that claim to be Jews and they are not. What you don't get. What you don't understand. I don't give a fuck. It is the truth. I know my history. I know my ancestry. And I know what the fuck I heard. And I know what the fuck I've been shown since I was a child. A little child. I remember I used to question God all the time. Like, what is this? Like, what is that? Like, come on now. He said be childlike. But y'all want to keep playing games. Moving the fuck on. Right? So I'm done with that. What y'all think Trump gonna do? That's all I want to know. What you think he gonna do? You watch on the replay? Comment. Please and thank you. Now, with that being said, I'm tired of motherfuckers. They're always trying to challenge motherfuckers. Do this, cut your camera. Bitch! Y'all, there is flying monkeys flying around these YouTube streets that have never cut their camera on. Bitch, I don't give a fuck about you talking about, oh, I did cut my camera on one time. It was in my members on my channel. Bitch, that shit don't even count. I don't give a fuck. Anybody can say anything about Evvonne. I've always cut my camera on whenever the fuck I feel like it, but I still cut that shit on. So you can't fuck with me on that level. I always cut my shit on when the fuck I feel like it. But you weird motherfucker, oh, I can't do this. Who the fuck runs out to their car to do a live? Bitch, what? Oh, hold on, family. I'm running out to my car to do a live stream. Who the fuck does that? That's weird ass, bitch ass energy. I fucking said it. And I'm going to say something again because motherfucker said it before. The same bitch that I'm trying to check right now. I said trying to check this live. Man, bitch don't want to see me. Bitch, you in Virginia, I'm in DC. And last time I checked, I know about projects, bitch. You're a dirty bitch. We want to talk about it? Because see, I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm not even gonna say nothing. And see, I think this is why certain motherfuckers don't respond to me. Don't fucking play with me. I know what it is. And I know where the fuck you at. And I think this is why certain motherfuckers don't play with me. I'm a different type of motherfucker. See, a lot of you motherfuckers want to keep playing these YouTube games. I don't do that shit. I will never ever get on this bitch and let you know, bitch, I'm about to pull up on you on Saturday, December, such and such. Bitch, never, ever, ever. I would never tell a motherfucker when the fuck I'm gonna pull up. What? The motherfuckers I know and my family, we don't do that shit. I would never tell you I'm pulling up. Bitch, you just need to be ready. Because you got all that fucking mouth. Just know how close. I'm 3 hours away. I'll give you that. I'm 3 hours away. Because you got all that motherfucking mouth. And let me tell you something else. You weird ass bitch. Your fake ass sis. That bitch will never put that pipe down long enough to pull up and fight with you. Message. Pick your battles. Pick your battles. Thank y'all so much for watching my content. I'll come back with something else. If I don't do this, it'll be next week. Fuck it. Share this out, please. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all y'all. What's up, King Ty? What's up, Dre? What's up, Dre? Let me see you. Oh, right now, do not click off, y'all. I've got something I'm about to play. I'm about to play for y'all. Do not click off, please. I got something I'm about to play for y'all. It's very, very fitting, right? I'm about to do it right now.
We are now in a state of a great deception, where facts are not facts and reality is perception. And everything you read on your feed is feed. And politicians cross party lines to keep us deceived. You see, historically, black people have been traditional, but white Democrats say blacks have to be liberal. So we adopt the co-op trying to avoid a fall. But if you handpicked our choice, that's not a choice at all. And what about Republicans? They just want to divide us. Yes, they're racist too, but they don't pretend to like us. So we don't pretend to be friends and fester by their feet. The only thing worse than a wolf is one dressed like a sheep. So you can be a sheep and go sleep with the shepherd. But regardless of what you hide, they both support genocide. They both support assigned bills that kill black and brown children. Replace gravestones with luxury homes and buildings. It's gross how they netting and Benjamin search Yahoo for the brazen fundraising to push imperialism. They use a war machine that's worth trillions to colonize civilians and spread materialism. Remember 2020 when we was in isolation? Nobody could go to work, so the government had to pay us. Then they used our own trauma to play and manipulate us up until election day just to sway us in their favor. Basically made crime legal. And it's not the rich that suffer, it's only the disenfranchised people. To drive down the property value, ignite fear, buy it for cheap, then make a huge profit in 5 years. But there's a threat, Project 2025. We've been in the projects and still managed to survive. We've been marginalized and denied our rights too. So the things they scared of, we lived our whole lives through. They use black people like political ping pongs and parade out paid celebrities just to sing songs. It seems wrong, but the fear's intact, because the puppet strings are green and there's a pact with the bureaucrats. They all follow that dogma to make Parma. They all have to answer to karma and big pharma. They all fall in line with their donors and lobbyists just to render private agendas so it's not so obvious. This is the modern day Roman Empire, controlling most of the map, but it still has to collapse. Landed the pill poppers, junkies, and meth heads. I think it's safe to say America's on her deathbed. Yo, bro. Come on, man.
Yo, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I told y'all.
What the fuck are we doing here?
I told you, bro.
Yo, what the?
Lock live New York City, man. Come on, man.
This is not what I was expecting, bro. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but not this.
I'm about to end this, but I want to come back to say, y'all saw it is what it is. I want to be very, very clear. I'm all about the truth. I don't like fuck shit. I don't like liars. And I said this today earlier on somebody else's post, right? I want you to understand. I don't like motherfuckers that want to come out on Mad Day and all of a sudden they saying some opposite ass shit. So if back then they would act like they was being truthful, and then on Mad Day, all of a sudden they saying something opposite, you have to also understand. If they was lying back then, they lying now. So whatever the fuck they talk about now is not credible. And if you can't ask other people to do certain things that you yourself are not willing to do, you can't ask somebody to cut their camera on and show XYZ when you won't cut your own camera on and walk around, bitch. And a motherfucker like me, I've been doing that shit. I got shit to prove. But I want to be very, very clear. Y'all got to stop this fuck shit. Fair is fair. You got to stop. You got to stop. I've been accused of living on the bridge. I've been accused of meeting motherfuckers in hotels. I've been accused of a whole lot of shit. But guess what? I don't give a fuck. Because every time I cut my camera on, I show what the fuck it is. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. A mad motherfucker gonna say some weird ass shit, right? But I ain't the one. Don't fuck with me. So I say all this to say this. Receipts don't lie. And at the end of the motherfucking day, if you really, really want to pop somebody, that's a new age term I've been learning or I've been hearing. Play their own words. Show their own words. Whether it's in an email or you can play their audio. Do what the fuck you gotta do, but do that. Because see, then when you play somebody or you repeat somebody's own words, there's no argument. The only thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, I was lying, I was playing. Bitch, do you not understand when you say some fuck shit like that, that means you lying now? You're not credible? Because see, if you admit that you was lying back then, bitch, you're a liar now. A lot of y'all worried about the wrong shit. A lot of y'all are worried about the wrong shit. I've been hearing for the past 2 weeks, right? About drones or things that look like drones or spacecrafts. Let me tell you something. We are literally living in the last days. Last days. Look it up, right? It's already been predicted that we was going to be basically told about aliens, alien crafts. Now motherfuckers talking about these creatures is living under the ocean. I'm not saying that shit's a lie, but guess who the fuck not going down there to explore? Me. I'm not going down there to explore. Okay, you say these motherfuckers down there, that's fine. If they choose to expose themselves and come the fuck up, hello. I'm not going to be their enemy, but then again, fuck them too. Bitch, why you been hiding yourself all these fucking years? I got an issue with that. Because y'all got us all the way fucked up. That you living on this motherfucking planet and y'all ain't saying shit. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Anyway, I'm different. I'm different. Message. Thank y'all for watching. I'm going to play this shit one more time. And then I'm going to end it. Because this is very, very important. Because motherfuckers don't know.
We are now in a state of a great deception, where facts are not facts and reality is perception. And everything you read on your feed is feed. And politicians cross party lines to keep us deceived. You see, historically, black people have been traditional, but white Democrats say blacks have to be liberal. So we adopt the co-op, trying to avoid a fall. But if you handpicked our choice, that's not a choice at all. And what about Republicans? They just want to divide us. Yes, they're racist too, but they don't pretend to like us. So we don't pretend to be friends and fester by their feet. The only thing worse than a wolf is one dressed like a sheep. So you can be a sheep and go sleep with the shepherd. But regardless of what you hide, they both support genocide. They both support assigned bills that kill black and brown children. Replace gravestones with luxury homes and buildings. It's gross how they netting in Benjamin. Search Yahoo for the brazen fundraising to push imperialism. They use a war machine that's worth trillions to colonize civilians and spread materialism. Remember 2020 when we was in isolation? Nobody could go to work, so the government had to pay us. Then they used our own trauma to play and manipulate us up until election day just to sway us in their favor. Basically made crime legal. And it's not the rich that suffer, it's only the disenfranchised people. To drive down the property value, ignite fear, buy it for cheap, then make a huge profit in 5 years. But there's a threat, Project 2025. We've been in the projects and still managed to survive. We've been marginalized and denied our rights too. So the things they scared of, we lived our whole lives through. They use black people like political ping pongs and parade out paid celebrities just to sing songs. It seems wrong, but the fear's intact, because the puppet strings are green and there's a pact with the bureaucrats. They all follow that dogma to make Parma. They all have the answer to karma and big pharma. They all fall in line with the donors and lobbyists just to render private agendas so it's not so obvious. This is the modern day Roman Empire, controlling most of the map, but it still has to collapse. Land of the pill poppers, junkies, and meth heads. I think it's safe to say America's on her deathbed.
Yo, bro.
Come on, man.
Yo, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I told y'all.
What the fuck are we doing here?
I told you, bro.
Yo, what the?
Locklift, New York City, man. Come on, man.
This is not what I was expecting, bro. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but not this.